Is it on? Yep, it's on. Hey everyone. Hello. We got class today. We're gonna go B1 plus. As usual, I hope you're doing great. And I need to see if everything is working well. I'm gonna suppose it is. I always suppose that everything is working well, but you know, life things happen. So F5 here. See they see. There we go. F5, F5. 35 seconds. I like the way I'm organizing this because I can actually see when I have to start. Like it's just like a little countdown before I start. Today was a rough day as usual, but we're coping. Just jump in and say hi once you see me. What's this? Okay. Oh, that's why. Well, too bad I cannot see that. Hi, Argenis. Nice to see you, man. How are you, bro? Um, is everything going fine over there? I'm planning on doing this in a different way, but for now, I just need new ideas. I'm gonna share this with some people so we have more people to join because this topic is really tricky. Everything's fine. I'm happy that everything's fine. It's always better. Whoa, is that me? I look so funny, like right there. Give me a sec. I'm going to do this. Like, whoops, no. 1, 2. Hi, Carolina. Happy to see you. How are you? How's everything going, Caro? I'm reading you guys. Andres, welcome. Is it the first time you're here? Dude, I'm from Colombia too. Great to see you here. Colombians learning English all the time. Okay, I'm gonna just wait 1 more minute so we can start because today's topic is kind of tricky. Yeah, this topic it's I told you last time I think it's verb patterns. Part 1. Verb patterns. Margis, happy to see you again. Hi. Mm, hoping the class? Hoping or waiting? Hoping? That makes me feel like you're hoping something from me. I'm also hoping we're going to have a great class. I'm going to need your participation because today's topic, I'm going to admit, sometimes it can be a little confusing because we have a typical thing. But in the meantime, I don't know if you know, maybe you know, and I'm just going to. I don't have my markers. Sorry, guys. Epic. I use a program called Epic Pen to use it as a marker because the marker that is in this other, and I'm gonna be serious on this one. This is the marker that they have in. No, it looks okay. This is the one from PowerPoint. I know. Only old people use PowerPoint, but I'm not that young, so I prefer PowerPoint. But I also prefer to have my markers right here, and this is Epic Pen. I like it only because I can choose how big the marker is. Yep, you see, for me that's better, especially when I'm going blind. So it's B1. It's B1. So what I need you to do is remember, for me the best thing, and so I can continue doing this as often as possible. Remember to share, to like, to comment, to participate in the class. The more, the better. Okay. Um, okay. 1 more minute, and it's go time. On Mondays, I speak Spanish, but on Tuesdays, I don't use Spanish at all because the idea is that these classes are for B1 onwards. But if you have any questions and you don't know how to ask your question and you want to do it in Spanish, that's okay. Yeah, I'm good to go now, I think. Yeah, I think. I'm pretty sure I can go now. Okay, are you guys ready? Let's go. Verb patterns. And my first question for everyone is do you know what is a pattern? Ideas what's this tiny word? A pattern is something that repeats a lot. Okay? It's not a rule, it's something that happens. And we have several different patterns in English. Like you start looking like how many patterns you have with verbs, and it can be around 11, 10. I think it's 11 different verb patterns. But we're gonna focus only on two. That's why it's part one. But when you learn this pattern, is actually really easy. Okay. So we're gonna check the patterns of the verbs that always go or should go with to, and the verbs that always go with ing. That's a typical one. I already had a video for the basic course that is about preferences. And with this video, basically, somebody's knocking at the door, but tough luck. Están golpeando en mi puerta, chicos. Denme un segundo, ya vengo. Mientras tanto, les voy a dejar una tarea a los que no están acá. Me van a decir ustedes qué entienden por la diferencia y qué verbos conocen que manejan estos dos. Infinitive and gerunds? Could be. But what is the difference? Sorry about that. Maybe. Where's my marker? Well, it's not a marker. It's actually a digital pen. But yeah. Infinitives and gerunds, yes, but when do we use them? Again, there is a little difference in the basic part. Now I can eliminate this. So we're going to see what kind of verbs use to and what kind of verbs use ing. Okay, so first of all, again, what is a pattern? A pattern is something that happens many times. So when you see that things happen like 1, 2, 3 times, it's a pattern. Yep. Even with this, at is a pattern, like different moments of the day, like night, noon. Okay, so we have these options. It's something that repeats. Now, these repetitions can sound a little bit arbitrary, but yeah, that's the way language works. Anyway, off with the class, probably with the real one. What happened here? Okay. Now, my favorite group is going to be from the basic one. The basic one is when we talk about things like hate, like, love, or prefer. we can either use to or ing, and there is a small difference. Eusi, hi, welcome. How are you? Okay, so I explained this a little bit in the video, but I'm gonna do it again. I like dancing merengue. Well, I don't like dancing merengue. It's the only thing I can dance. Wait, I got a question over there. May I say that a pattern is a rule? It's not necessarily a rule. A rule is something that is not going to change no matter what. A pattern is something that happens with certain frequency. There's a little change in that part. So it's not technically a rule. It's things that happen and they're repeated. What is the rule here? The only rule is having a verb like this. This is not okay. So that's the only rule that we have. That's not going to happen. A pattern is the ways that these two are going to accommodate. Now, the thing here is I want you to tell me what's the difference between I like dancing and I like to dance. Is there a difference? Are these two the same? Is there a big difference, a small difference? I'm reading here in the chat just in case. Because when I say I like dancing, to be honest, and I like to dance, there is a little difference. They are the same. They are the same. No, they're not the same. There's a little tiny difference. Okay. When you want to mention that it's an activity that you like a lot, that you enjoy, we use like and ing or any of this. Well, in this case, that you really hate. If you hate actually, in my case, I hate dancing because I suck at it. I'm really bad at it. But I like to dance when I'm with my friends. The difference is the second sentence was incomplete. So, yeah, it's more like a trick question. Here is because I enjoy the activity or really hate the activity. Here is a way of doing things. When you're explaining something that, like, let's say that you're working and you have to prepare somebody and you're going to explain the way you do things. So, I like to organize my work before starting. I like to organize. Is the way of doing things. It's my mode. So when I focus on the mode, I'm going to use like or any of this with to. That's the difference. It doesn't matter, like here is still the same, but here is the activity that I enjoy, and here is the way I like to do things. Okay, that's the difference. It's a little tiny difference, but it's kind of important. Now, sometimes to an ing is not going to be that relevant. Both ideas here people are going to understand. Like, if you don't do it like this, it's not that they're not going to understand. They're going to understand what you say. But knowing this is a big difference between A2 and C1. Yep. If you think that both are the same, it's because they don't want you to complicate yourself with different nuances of the language. But that's the difference. You enjoy ing. You're happy doing that. A way of doing things, a mode, use this. That's the difference. That's the only one. So I want you to show me some examples from you. Like, really, you're gonna hate me for this, but I hate listening to preachers. Uh, what do you mean? The first one is not really. Is the difference is literally that you actually hate or like the activity. You make a mention here of the activity. And the other one is I hate to wait in line when it's a rainy day. Things that you don't enjoy because of the mode. Well, actually, when it's raining, I don't like to go out at all when it's raining. But that's the difference. Yep. And so if you have examples of this and you start putting them in the chat, I can give you ideas if tell you that if it is okay or not. Yep. But just remember, ing, you enjoy or hate in this case. It's not about frequency. It's about the feeling here. And two is about the mode or way of doing things. That's all it is. That's the only difference. Okay, so case number one. When both of them have the option to either use to or ing, there is a little difference in here. Let's check another pattern. These are words that generally we should use mostly with to: afford, agree, arrange, ask. These are combinations that maybe the ing is not going to be really used. Like this one disappears with these guys. Okay. Typical one for you to practice is promise. I promise to go next time. Mm, Adriana, I'm not going to show that comment, but actually, you're jumping to a part that I'm going to explain. But prefer should use only to or ing, but not both. Yeah, no. Prefer going or prefer to go. I'm gonna put it here in the chat. Whoops. Sorry, guys, about the capital letters, but my keyboard is stuck. I like taking classes with teachers that are you gonna make me blush? I'm already blushing. With this one, I promise to go. Okay, I promise you. These ones, try to use them only with to. Do you see any word that you don't know? Demand, afford. Ah, well, it's okay. It's okay, Adriana. It's normal. You're learning. So yes, I prefer to go. When you say I prefer to go, again, is the mode. Like I prefer to go at night. So you really prefer that way of doing things. I prefer going is like at night something looks interesting. Yeah. Agree, arrange, ask, begin, choose, continue, decide. Well, continue. I'm gonna put a little asterisk here because continue with to means one thing and continue with ing means another thing. But these ones usually suit best when we use them with to. Okay. Especially this one, manage. Well, I'm gonna stop using examples with I. Um, what example? What example? Cami managed to arrive on time today. The difficult part of this topic is There is not a specific rule that says, okay, all of these verbs have to go with to because of this. No, it's a pattern. It's something that happens, that has been repeated so many times that almost like Margie said, it almost feels like a rule. Yep. Hate, again, I'm going to put it in this group because I usually hate things in a way of doing them. Offer to, plan to, prefer to, refuse to, remember to. This one also with an asterisk because remember to and remember ing is possible, but the meaning changes. Okay, so as you can see, most of the expressions that we have here, one, especially here, can be used for either activities or hobbies or preferences. Well, if you want to promise. And did I miss any word that you think that the pronunciation is kind of weird? Because I think that weird words here are not so present. Well, fail. Uh, about the Ukraine situation, diplomacy has failed to work nowadays. Like I cannot believe that we're in the middle of a war. Anyway, but I'm gonna here in the description or in a comment, I'm gonna give you a link so you can practice this. Because again, patterns are basically repetitions. And the best way to get used to this is, well, repeating. So in this case, you're gonna need some exercises. I know, not the funnest way, but also when you speak. So when you speak, you can start talking and ask the other person to monitor. So you're no. We're going to practice. We're gonna talk about agreements and refusing. Like let's imagine that you're having a business English conversation. You're gonna use words like agree, afford, refuse, maybe help, decide, learn, prefer, nah. Plan. Plan always with to, by the way. And you ask your person to, I don't know, to tell you every time you use those words well or not so well. So that could be an option of practice in a moment. Are we going to have a Kahoot? No. Today, no, because I still haven't figured out how to make it work. Like in a classroom works great, but through YouTube, it doesn't work so well. Anyway, next. Erase. Okay, these ones, I'm going to tell you the truth. It's better if you use them with ing. It's more common. By the way, practice with C is the American version. Before I forget, practice with S, the same as exercise, is the British version of the word. Okay, so admit, avoid, deny, finish, dislike, enjoy, especially enjoy, deny, fancy. These expressions that I love. Risk, you should use the next verb with ing. Yeah. You remember Mr. Trump? Trump denied. Again, I'm using the verb in past. I mean, these kind of topics are not about the tense, are about the things that go together. Denied helping Russia. I'm gonna get this video kicked because of this. You see, after words like deny, the next verb is better to be used with ing. Deny, ing. Yep. I'm happy because my dad gave up. We have give up here. My dad gave up smoking. Again, if we're gonna use give up, the next action should go with ing. You see? So the best way to practice, again, is to have somebody monitor this with you if you're speaking. When you're speaking, you can constantly see, oh, okay, so when I finish, so you're listening to a person talking. When I finish, to play, no, finish to play doesn't work. When I finish playing. So in that case, so having a person monitor that for you when you're talking, it'll be great, and you both learn a lot. Anyway, before I continue, I feel like I'm rushing in, but any questions so far? Yes. When do we use to and when do we use ing? We use to basically with these verbs all the time. Okay, no. We can use to or ing with these ones. Doesn't matter. There is a little difference. We use to with these verbs, and we use ing with these verbs. That's it. Yeah, like with mind. I don't mind going. Hey, goody. Now, this is the most difficult part. So far, I have told you that some verbs go with to and some verbs will go with ing, and some verbs can use both. Now let's look a combo because that's technically like when you're playing Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or any fighting game, and you're just like this, and you see like a kick comes out of nowhere, and you don't know how to make the combination. Well, sometimes combinations in English happen the same way. We have some combinations that have no logic, and it's a very special family of things that have to and ing together. So yeah, I think it was one of you that in the comments you had an example with to and ing with prefer. So no, that one is not possible. But with these babies, it's not only possible, but it's mandatory. Okay, except this one. Sorry. Okay, what are the expressions that are going to have this special combination? The first one is going to be, I mean, the most known is looking forward to. The typical one in business emails is this one, looking forward to meeting you again, looking forward to planning. Again, this is a case of a to and an ing that go together, but it's not because what you think. In this case, the action technically is not an action, it's an event, so it becomes a noun. And that's a weird way to explain this, but that's why it becomes just like that. Um, these are the words that use that combination. Second one, admit to. Yep. Uh, rarely politicians admit to having connections with illegal stuff. Yep. Return to. Oops. Here is in past. Return to singing in this case. I don't know how many artists you like, but I really hope it, I hoped Meatloaf to return to singing, but well, he died. So I know I like cheesy music sometimes. Dedicate to. Again, uh, Mrs. Jones dedicated to uniting families. Yep. The UN is dedicated to keeping peace among different countries, allegedly. Committed to, again, committed to is another case of to and ing together. Oof, addict to. Oh, it's with double D. His addiction to playing. Again. So these kind of actions are going to make us use both and react to. Here I'm placing the verbs. In these two cases, I want to explain this. These are nouns. Addiction is a noun and reaction is a noun. But the pattern is so strong that it doesn't matter. You're going to be connected with to, and the next one is going to go with ing. Again, this is the part where you say, shoot, I have to practice. And yes, it happens a lot. It requires repetition and it requires lots of attention. So now I open you with a total of 3 possibilities to practice. Okay, backtrack a little. To or ing with a little difference. These guys. That's group number 1 that you have to learn. Whoops. Group number 2, things that sound better with to, or only with to, or most of the times with to. That's the second group. Group number 3, things that sound way better, or usually or always go with ing. Yep, always. For example, enjoy should go always with ing. Dislike can go with either, but it's better to use it with ing. And the final group is the unholy. Unholy. Sorry, you can find this word in the dictionary. Something that is not sacred, something that is weird. To an ing combo with these words. Okay, so those are the first verb patterns that you should learn. I know. Hey, good evening. How are you? Happy to see you again. Yeah. So, what is the best way to practice? Because right now I'm preparing, like, I'm going to go to a club, so you should do the same if you have the opportunity. Again, when you're talking about preferences, is the best way to practice this in a controlled manner. When you're A1, you're going to say this a lot. I like this, I like that, like, enjoy, sometimes prefer. When you're B1 plus, you're gonna use verb patterns. You have a wide variety of ways of saying things to express preferences. The ones that I show you can be some of them. Yep. So instead of whoops, um, you can talk. Okay, no. When I begin to play, I like playing video games, but when I begin to play, I really like to have my TV on, and I hate playing on handheld. You see, you start combining everything. So that's the thing. And I have to admit, this is not an easy topic. And these are the easy patterns, if I'm going to be honest, really. Okay. Any questions? I hope you have questions. You should have any questions. Or do you have any questions that are not related to this topic? Cesar, when are you going to explain the passive voice? Ah, that's a grammar topic that we should explain soon. But I'm not going to explain all the passive voice with all the tenses, not just with present. When we start with that, um, it's kind of funny because actually the passive voice has a pattern, but it's not a verb pattern. Well, all grammar tenses have patterns. I'm reading you guys. Any questions connected to this topic? If not, it's 9:04. I'm going to go to the club room if somebody wants to practice. Is anyone here going to practice? Whoops. Give me a sec. My brain is on fire with this topic. And it's natural. Like the first time I studied this, like you're going to react to something. The first time you actually use these words, you're going to notice that you have already done this many times. And this is the way people speak. So you do it often. Now you have to do it consciously. And that's why it looks really tricky. To be honest, for me personally, the most difficult part was to understand this. Because like when I was at the university, professor, I'm looking forward to meet you soon. And obviously my professor was all like, this guy. And usually, professors at the university, unless they're your English teacher, they're not going to correct much of it. They're going to tell you, like, oh, your grammar is atrocious, your speaking is chaotic. Um, they give you things with lots of love, okay, or no love at all, but they're never going to correct you. So until I was reading, what was the name of this book? Um, the name of the book was, I think, English Grammar in Use. So here with answers. I think it was Eastwood. The last name of the guy was Eastwood. I'm pretty sure of this. And then in that book, I checked this topic. I was like, oh, so I have been saying this for about 5, 6 years the worst way possible. So basically, I was making fun of myself, really. Yeah, the same mistake over and over and over again. It was really difficult. So relax. If you say that your brain is on fire, mine was already toasted. So yeah, the more you practice, the better. So guys, if you want, here in the link, I think it's the club link in the description, either for YouTube or Facebook. So I'm gonna finish the broadcast right now, and if you want to chat a little or talk a little bit, see you in the room. Okay. So online class dismissed. In case you want to stay and talk, I'm gonna be in the club. Bye. See you in a moment. How do I do this? Sorry.